I've been shooting my M16 clone rifle a lot, but it's made me start to miss my 1911, the Tisas B45R. It's been a while since I shot it, so I cleaned it off and headed to the range to practice some pistol drills. I've noticed that I like the older school type of guns because this gun is a full-size 1911 chambered in 45 ACP. I'm not as familiar with shooting this caliber over 9mm, but I actually enjoy it a lot more. I've had this pistol for a little over a year now, and I've shot 1,000 rounds of brass and 900 rounds of steel for a total of 1,900 rounds. Now, 2,000-ish rounds isn't a whole ton to judge a gun's longevity, but it's also enough, if you ask me, to have a pretty informed initial impression. And overall, I like this gun a lot. The only time it didn't cycle properly was because I didn't do a deep clean on it frequently enough because I was still learning the 1911 platform. When I did do this, all of those issues went away.
Hello everyone, so we are back at the range. As you can tell, it is a killer day today. It's like mid to low 80s instead of like 100, 110 degrees like before, and it's nice to be out. And so I've been wanting to shoot my 1911, the Tisas B45R, for a while, and so we're gonna do that. We're gonna work with some 45 today, and I'll just be doing a couple drills, nothing too crazy, but wanted to bring you guys along. I'll throw those on the screen so you know what they are versus me blabbering on about what they are. And so, yeah, basically it's just gonna film a typical pistol range day in my life. And so I already have the target set up. I've already loaded up the 1911, so I'm basically just getting into position now. So let's get to it. So we just finished up with round one. You know, I did this drill about 6 times already, and so it's not going too well, honestly, because I haven't shot the 1911 for maybe a few months because I've neglected it. My shots are like pretty off, you know, and even if maybe this range day so far has been a rude awakening, it's still been a lot of fun. The 1911 I've wanted to shoot for a bit. I was doing the M16 for a while, which I love, but I really had the itch for 45, and so shooting the Tisas again has been great. It's had about 1,500 rounds or so, and I'm just shooting steel today, and it's working fine. But it's a real joy to shoot, get back to this kind of pistol, and so, you know, regardless of how we're doing, you know, with my shots so far, definitely having a blast shooting a lot.
As I mentioned before, this is a full-sized government profile 1911 chambered in 45. I swapped out the grips and instead I'm using these VZ Operator 2 grips in Hyena Brown. I think they give the gun a very nice, classy look while still being incredibly practical and tactile. They definitely help me get a much better grip over the factory plastic grips. I also learned to adjust my reload technique to better suit this larger pistol, which has also been tremendously helpful. And when I'm doing the right things, this 1911 is plenty accurate, although I would like to upgrade the sights to something with a little more contrast in the future, just out of personal preference. I also added the Wilson Combat Magwell on here, which wasn't necessary, but it was incredibly convenient. Now, what I would caution you about regarding this pistol has nothing to do with build quality specifically of the Tisas, it's just the inherent drawbacks of a 1911. Mainly, it's a heavier gun with a lower magazine capacity than other options in the market today, and the 1911 tends to be pricier than modern guns, but obviously there are different tiers of 1911s and striker-fired pistols you can buy. However, I actually got this 1911 from the factory for $550 or so it's pretty cheap. To be honest, when I heard that this gun was $550, I was very skeptical. If you get a chance to shoot this gun, you'll find that there's a surprising amount of value and quality at this price point.
So I think we'll actually call it a day here. I may have misjudged how much time I was spent shooting and moving the camera around and stuff like that. And then sun's starting to go down, and it's a bit of a drive home. But overall, it was a good day today. So we did that one drill, which was really good, really eye-opening for me for the 1911. And I think it's a really good all-around drill to use because it tests so many skills, but also not so many that you feel like you don't advance in any of them. Right now, I think I'll just pack up the targets and then we'll start to head home. I would say this is a pretty typical range day. I think like a lot of the time you can see people have these like super awesome, really kind of like cool high-speed looking range days where they run around to heavy metal. But really for me, it's it's pretty bland, pretty straightforward. I basically just pick a couple drills and then just shoot. It's nothing like too glamorous. And so I think I want to give a little bit of a sense of realism too to what a normal range day is, at least for someone like me. But yeah, it's basically just picking a couple drills and doing a lot of repetition to make sure you get better. That's really about it.
I've learned over the years that if you're just a casual shooter, you don't always need to take yourself so seriously and expect to make leaps and bounds in your skills with each range session. Sometimes you won't shoot as well as you like. Developing good skills takes time, and it's okay to have fun along the way. I had a blast this range session, and it reminded me why it's so fun to get out of the house, be in the outdoors, and shoot a gun you enjoy. So I'm very confident you will find this drill to be really useful, but also, don't forget to just go shooting for the sake of having fun. Pick a gun or two that you like, make some time to hit the range, and enjoy your time shooting.